Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu-Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be mysterious, maybe conny and kind of scammy and kind of like weird and enticing, but at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Hi! The minute
Hello.
the minute I
So,
started this voice, you just Wahama was not into it. Like she just like you could really see her check out. Like you really could see her being like, I don't know. She just like you could see her just sort of being like, oh God. God, I don't
yes,
want to do it. I don't
that
want to
is
do it.
so true. I'm like, oh God,
No.
what's happening?
I'm
Okay, let me try to yes and the shit out of this. So then I was gonna I was taking a drink so you could say the title so I could come back and figure out how the fuck to just yes
deal with
and
this
that.
shit.
Just yes
Deal with
and
this
it. I
shit.
mean, like you
Your eyes were
okay.
just like
And then I thought to myself, does she know this is on Patreon? That like there's no like
no.
potential somebody in the audience
No,
that
I'm
she could just
Pavlov dogging,
that
obviously. Like this is what we do. This is the thing. Like the only thing different between this exact moment and every other moment we've done this thing is that I have eyelash extensions.
oh okay. Listen, it it happens various times, and I'm just here to yes and you. Sometimes it just isn't natural, and I have to think about it. Okay, so we're talking Love Is Blind, season 6, episode 5. She kind of lied to me.
She just left some parts out. Like
No, I'm not going to defend her because she's a nutbag, but like she said, people say I look like Megan Fox, even though I don't believe it. That is what she said.
she wants to believe it, and she kind of does a little bit.
Everyone
That's what that
says,
means.
including Chris, that she looks like Natalie Nunn, and I don't really know what Natalie Nunn looks like besides in pictures. So, like, to me, if I were to see Natalie Nunn walk somewhere, I wouldn't know exactly who she is.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell our listeners that are just disappointed that this person doesn't know who one of the most iconic bad girls of all bad girls club fame. I mean, besides like Tanisha, but okay.
What about that girl with Danger with the tiger on her face? That's the one I know.
Yeah, that person also exists.
That's
But
the
that per
only bad girls I know.
yeah, Natalie Nunn has shows on the Zeus network that she like runs and
Oh
she's
my god, so shows on the Zeus network?
but
I
that girl
should
doesn't.
You're right.
Tiger Face doesn't.
You're
She,
right.
not Tiger Queen doesn't.
You're right. So basically the female Tyler Perry is like running amok doing stuff, and therefore I should know who they are. Great. The Zeus network. Cool. Also, you especially okay, this is Zeus network, aka why you should download All Black.
I said
Tubi,
that.
Tubi. No. It's just
Oh,
that is what I think. That is the like I'm
oh,
like
okay.
Zeus network is all black, but different. Anyways.
Yes, it is. I mean, yes, it is that. Yeah, I feel like the Zeus Network happened before even I knew All Black. Like All Black is just the only reason why I know about All Black is because of Love After Lockup. But Zeus Network has the Jocelyn Hernandez stripper show that's a big ass deal, and like then there's like the Natalie Nunn thing that's a big ass deal. Like they've had like at least some what looks like you know uh talkative or like entertaining shows. Now, having said why I say that is because just having noticed from Twitter conversations, some people are watching those where I feel like no one I know has ever talked about All Black. Like I
Yeah.
don't think I think it's a front for something else. Like they've got to be doing something else. Like there can't their whole business endeavor can't be All Black. No way.
I just think it's racist. I think they're like, oh, we're gonna gather all of the shows that our urban or urban folk like to watch, and so we're gonna put it on here. I'm like, I'm because even the person who does the voiceovers is like a deep voiced black man who's like on black, where you can get all the black ass shows from WeTV. Like that's what it feels like to me. But then Zeus to me is another. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that Peacock was like a better version of Zeus.
Not
Mm-hmm.
Peacock.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Yeah, no.
then I got Peacock, and I was like, oh,
No.
why are they showing all this NBC stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Peacock. Oh, okay. Paramount Plus. Oh, okay. Channel. Okay. I see what's happening now. But it took me a minute because I think the Fresh Prince of Bel Air or something was on Peacock, and it wasn't on anything else. And it was a couple like exclusive stuff that I thought like, oh, Peacock is just like, I don't know. Like I also watched Kevin Hart had a little show where he had guests on, and that was on Peacock as well. So I just assume it was like BET.
Mm.
It was BET. It's not though. Okay, let's jump right into this show. Y'all, we are behind, okay? Because there's
No.
one part of my brain that that just finished talking about on my YouTube channel. Just call me Wah. I just finished talking about episode 10 and 11. So if you want a more updated version of what I think, you could go to my YouTube channel. Just call me Wah.
Why
But
don't
we
you
here
post? Sorry.
are talking about episode 5 of this show, which they are still in the pods at this point.
I
Which
will
I'm going to say
post.
that it's helpful for me. Hold on, one second. Helpful for
Sorry.
me to have watched this episode because in my live, I was able to really point out some inconsistencies in Sarah Ann's motherfucking story. But go ahead.
I will post your YouTube into the Patreon. Is what I keep trying to say. It's just a link. It's your YouTube link. Yeah, we'll post on the Patreon so they have access to it.
All right, I'll do it. Okay, so we start off this episode with Trevor going to propose. Remember Trevor? Oof.
Trevor has a lot going against him. We know a lot about what's happened, knowing that he's went on the show and like what his situation was. He never talks about that rash, and we're supposed to not talk about both things and not think about both things. But when he's on TV, all we think about is that rash. And how did he get it? Is he okay? Is it contagious? Is it dandruff? Is it psoriasis? Is there some lotion? Does he think about it all the time? And then after we're done thinking about it, then we think whoever can like stand like running his hands through that. But then we're like, okay, we'll stop talking about the rash. And then we're like, oh, but he has that girlfriend or something like that. And we saw the texts. The rash takes a lot because it's so itchy looking, like it's red and it's right there. And it's like the whole time it screams at you. Like, don't you like sometimes this is horrible, but sometimes like things scream at me a little bit on TV. It's HD. So it's like, you're just like there and it's like all there. And you're just like, oh, like, is this because you're taking some weird supplement, like part of your regime? Is this some sort of powder reaction to some sort of creatine, like what?
Chris, people have skin problems. They just do. And you're like, I need you to tell me because I, as a American, cannot watch people on TV with skin problems. No, girl, we're in a world of like representation matters, and so we need those people with psoriasis, those people who are roaming this earth right now ashamed of their arms or their neck or whatever will see Trevor and be like, listen, just like me.
They don't know if he's like you because he hasn't said it though. That's like, if he was representation, he would have been like, so sometimes Chelsea, yeah, it's hard because I got to deal with the psoriasis. And he looks at camera and he's like, and then he would just move on. You know what I'm saying? But he never does that. So how is he representative? Like we're left to guess what the situation is. I just said if it was a reaction to creatine. So anyway, God bless. So Trevor goes to do the thing, and Jimmy also wants to propose, and Chelsea is nervous when she's walking to the pod, and then she, she Basically, basically this is what happens. Jimmy proposes to her, right? Like Jimmy's like, yeah, you know, I love you so much, Chelsea, and you just make me feel so good because you're always just like laughing, and I don't even really know what the sound of your voice sounds like. More so just like you're like dumb, giggly laughing, but that sounds a lot better than Jessica, you know, like bossing me around all the time. And I feel like I can see that life better. And you also said the Megan Fox thing, so I'm just gonna pick you. So he picks her, and she's like, yeah, she's like 1,000% yes, and he's like, let's go. That will come back later. I know, I know. It's funny because a lot of things, you know, this is a microcosm of Charlotte modern day dating life to me. It's like, oh, I could see any of these people off at in Charlotte. You know, obviously Jimmy's a type, and Jimmy is very southern, has a very southern accent. So like, you know, like this kind of like let's go thing, like was like suddenly kind of rocker or something. But so anyway, but that's at his core what he does when he's most, you know, happy or celebratory. That part's always interesting. I'm just gonna say this like that, but like, you know how sometimes you see like, well, I'm just gonna say dudes and this like guys or whatever, like when they are in exaltation, like maybe they just got the winning beer pong cup thing, but you know, like ever see a man in a moment of elated joy
Mhm.
because of like either something they did or an accomplishment, and it like happens in a split second. Sports is a really good one because they're like, it's usually like a jolt of like they just did something and like, oh, you know, and then it's like they won or whatever. It's just so interesting because it's kind of like an orgasm in that moment, in that you get like a somewhat unbridled expression of joy, elation, whatever you want it to be, relief, and it can be unmasked and unfiltered in a way because it happens in the moment, and it's sometimes like a really big reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like let's just say like if I'm to win the Oscar someday, like, you know, like I don't know if I'd be like, I think, you know, I know I'm on TV, so I'd have to be like, thank you so much. But you also know that if I also just like in beer pong won the last little beer pong against you guys and I was like fucked up, I'd be like, you know, I'd be like, whatever, doing my own weird ass thing that's like not when I win the Oscar because I'm on TV. This anyway. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, but the funny
Okay.
thing is that I was trying to you said a man, so I pictured my dad and my brother. And so in my mind I was like, "Oh, let's think of a time where my dad and my brother has been super excited." And then you start talking about orgasms and I'm like,
Oh no.
"Oh, just ruined it. Now
No,
I can't
I
imagine
now I
it.
can't
Now I
think of
need
my
to
own the
like
men that I was
yes,
thinking about.
so I can't think of those men because it took it to a place.
Sorry about it.
Um it doesn't sound like you're sorry. Um uh so Chelsea then gets over to Trevor and then has to like basically break it off with him, and he's like, if I had come in first, would you have still, if you picked me? And she's like, no. I mean, this whole time we all know that he's fully has a girlfriend he just broke up with to be on the show, and there's so many rumors flying, and he is still on TikTok just talking about the show like normally, and all of us think that he is an absolute trash bag. So you know, a trash bag with some kind of skin situation. Now,
Hefty, hefty, hefty.
Chelsea, yeah, she's exactly in the space that I think that she needs to be in to feel comfortable. Simply because she's got two men who are just dying to be with her. And we see a level of insecurity like we haven't seen on TV in such a long time after this, but it's just really interesting to me. So then we go to Jeremy, and Jeremy has to break up with Sarah Ann. And while it's happening, she's completely blindsided. Like she doesn't know because Laura has been keeping it close to the heart. Like Laura, I think, has let it known that she's dating Jeremy, but she hasn't told anyone, like especially anyone that would tell Sarah Ann how close they are and exactly where they are in their relationship. And so Sarah Ann is still like smug and smirk, and she's giving off of some kind of like biracial situation. I don't know if she's like Latina or like, you know, Asian. She's giving off something that she knows that people really, men are really into. And I think that Laura, to another extent, while Laura is like has all this confidence and stuff, I know Laura has been beat out by girls like Sarah Ann her entire life, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, and so he says, Jeremy tells Sarah Ann, like, hey, you know, this is hard because, and Sarah Ann's like, huh? She's not expecting it at all. And he's like, yeah, I didn't have a mental connection with you. I mean, we get along really well, but you know, there's somebody else. And she says that she feels foolish.
Mhm.
And then
Which makes sense because she had gotten him to say this. It's interesting. She had gotten him to say that he had only told her about visiting like the dad's cemetery. Remember that whole situation? So in this moment, she's like, I don't get it. What's the determining factor? Because you said that you told me things you didn't tell anyone. He's like, I did tell you things. I didn't say anything. And so in her mind,
I
she's
didn't
like,
tell anyone.
I didn't tell anyone. So it's just like, yeah, in her mind, she's like, he told me things that he didn't tell anyone, which means that he must like me better than anyone. Why would you only, why would you tell me secret things you didn't tell anyone? Like, well, how could you not have a mental connection with me and tell me things you didn't tell anyone? And he was like, yeah, it's just that some of the banter got kind of intense sometimes. Not that I really like, not that I regretted any part of it. And what that felt like, right? It was sexual banter. Like, doesn't he mean the banter got kind of intense sometimes? About what?
I thought it was about her
Politics?
yeah, I thought it was about her political affiliations.
Wouldn't I wish that she in that moment was like, about what? What exactly what banter? Just because literally banter is just talking, and that's what we've been doing for the past 4 days. So what exactly what felt too
Yeah,
much?
I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
So she just was upset, and then she's confused, so she kind of like doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
but she does like have some back and forth with him. The way she makes it seem in like episode 11 is that she had no time to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just really interesting. Yeah, so she says though that she would do this process again, and he's like, I would never do this process again. And she's like, why? Like, she doesn't get it. And then she's like done with the conversation, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna venture off. And so she gets up and she leaves, and she goes into the women's dormitory, and she's like, I did not expect this to happen. And Laura looks up, and then she's like, it's you. And Laura gets up and is just like, and goes and hugs her and tries to like give her the best, like, you did everything you could. Yeah, you know, whatever. And then Sarah Ann's like, yeah, I'll have my moment. And it's just like, yeah, girl, yeah. So then Laura puts on a green dress, and she goes into, she likes herself in green. She brought two green dresses to this show. So she gets a dress, and she goes into the pod, and then Jeremy proposes to her, and she cries, and it's like, oh, this sweet moment. And then we cut to Jimmy and Chelsea seeing each other, and they're both very nervous. Chelsea is wearing a dress that I hate. I did not like that dress on her.
Do you like anything I mean, and I don't mean this, Chelsea is a girl that I see a lot of kind of parts of this little girl parts of some people. Okay, how do I say this? Chelsea's very insecure. Okay, and I feel bad, to say this. She's not a mean person. She's just like an insecure person, and it manifests itself in very insecure ways. And she's intense. And I think she's a nice enough person. I couldn't be friends with her, and I definitely couldn't date her. I definitely couldn't be around her more than anything, and I feel bad saying that, but just, it takes all types to make a world. She is just like insufferable a little bit in that way. And, but at the same time, we all deserve love. So I'm happy for her. And I get feeling insecure. I feel insecure all the time. I'm also a tall girl that's thick. So which exactly is what she says. She's like, I know that some guys usually like, petite girls, and I'm a tall, thicker girl. And, I totally get that. And she said a couple things this whole time about how guys are mean to her and stuff like that. We really can like understand, but also sometimes the way she acts and the things she says is just, ooh, it's a lot. So yeah, they see each other for the first time. Honey, when those doors open, she says she can't run. So she decides to to move in a way fastly to get to him that is not a run per se. It's kind of like a walk hop. It's not it's a
It's
funny,
not
okay.
it's
It's
not
not
good.
attractive, and
It's
it's
not
not
good.
attractive, and it's but at the same time, I'll say this, no, everyone has to be attractive all the time. And it's funny though, I feel like in this moment, all I see is her like utter anxiety manifesting in every time. Like everything she talks, everything she says is because she like cannot live in the present moment. And she's just so like, and she never feels confident or secure or grounded. But that is what I see in her, which means that's my perception, which means probably what I see, what I should be working on for myself.
Yeah, no, I hate that dress on her. I think that it makes her
Hmm.
look it just does it just it not it's not giving everything it needs to give. It's like she needed a darker color or something. It's wrong. So she wears this dress that's wrong for this scene. And he is not impressed. He's immediately like, "Oh, you're not the dark-haired, light-eyed person I thought you were gonna be." Because I never once did she say, like, I look like Megan Fox with auburn hair. So like maybe he's thinking he's getting this like dark-haired person to come, and so she comes out and he's like, "What's up?" and "How you doing?" and all those things. And they sit down. He's like, "Come on, let's sit down." So like compared to the other people, like they go and sit down first, whereas like some of the other ones we saw, it's an immediate, except for Brittany and Kenneth, which here's the word on the street for Kenneth in a second, remind me, that then they go and sit down and she's like, "I'm sweating." Like she also does that thing where being goofy and like being like talking in a baby voice, and then saying your things in such a high pitched way, which is the same way that AD does.
Squeals.
And
They squeal. They're both. They squeal the exact same way when they're happy. It's kind of like this, like, literally.
yeah,
I mean,
it's just so interesting. I'm like, what a free girl you are. And so I just would be embarrassed if I was like, I mean, I cackle, but my cackle's hilarious. And so
I snort.
so he sits down with her as opposed to the do the thing. And so she's like being goofy. She's like, he was like, "Yeah, this has been really hard. I was thinking of going home." She's like, "Well, I don't want to hear that. It's nothing I want to hear." And we get a glimpse for the first time of the Chelsea that is coming up. And we just didn't know. A glimpse of that person
No, I
being
totally.
like,
She's. Would you want to hear that though too? If like right, you got engaged, someone guy was like, "I'll tell you, I almost left."
I would, yeah, I would be okay with it because I'm like, you're telling me your truth of how you felt, which
Mm.
is like, and then I would ask why, like, what happened? This was just a really hard process for me. I didn't know that I was going to be able to do it. Oh, okay, well, are you sure now? You sure now? Do you want to continue on with this? Like, you let me know if you want to leave, right? Just let me know. I completely respect it, but I don't want to just be left randomly. So
Mm.
can you just let me know? Yeah, because people are allowed to have feelings, and I get you accidentally saying it out loud, thinking that you should tell me. Maybe you shouldn't. So they then sit down and talk a little bit, and he like talks about his fears. She gets kind of like "Beep," and then he's like, "Okay, we got something to do," and then he gets down on one knee. But there's this weird awkward look that he gives, like he doesn't close his eyes and hug her. He closes eyes and looks like a deer in headlights. I mean,
Mhm.
he
Mhm.
he looks like a deer in headlights as he hugs her.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. He has woven penny loafers on, which I was like, I see you. I love a woven penny.
Oh, honey. Okay, woven penny. Yes. You wrote this here. As long as you don't change, I'll be the happiest person.
Yeah. And she fully changes. She fully becomes a crazy person.
I mean, how much, yeah, how much vetting can you do and how much like of someone's like personality, who they're like in this days. But and
Right.
also you never get them around other people to see them being like insecure. How do you get like it's hard to see someone be jealous or insecure unless, unless you got one morsel but you didn't see it in action, you know?
No, but I guess I mean you can say that, right? Like there are people who are like, "No, I'm very jealous. Like when I'm with you, I will need that." And so these are the things that I think she never said, and so it catches him off guard when she doesn't want him. No, she wants him to behave like Johnny. And Johnny and Amy have a different level of a relationship. And so
Mm, mhm, mhm.
Johnny's going to constantly come back and be like, "Babe, are you okay? Babe, are you okay?" But the
Mhm,
rest
mhm.
the rest of them who are like, "I really do like this person, but here's an opportunity to get away from them for just 30 minutes so I can talk to the people that I know a little bit more. I can get to know other people." Like I get that. I get that after spending, I don't know how long they've been talking to each other, but after spending like, 3 or 4 days with a complete stranger and then going through the ups and downs of like awkwardness. Sometimes you just want to see your boys or your girls, or sometimes you just want to go off on your own, Wahamalino, because you're an introvert and
No,
you
you're
can't take it
talking to
anymore.
yourself.
Can't
She
take it
can't do it.
anymore.
She done, honey. She done. Yeah. And then we get another meet. Yeah, we're saying Laura and Jeremy.
They see each
Um.
other. She's wearing another green dress.
Oh yeah.
She's
So
she
they go
says
to
she's
the.
obsessed with him.
Yeah. I mean, she's like, look at your face. I don't know. It's so funny. I never get the feeling that she's happy with him either, but they go to paradise and then they start to have some time together as Coops Badoops. Paradise here is the DR. And they're going to go and have what looks like their own private suites with private sunken in no, private, what do you call that? Uh, oh,
Pools,
yeah, it's private pools, but they have a special word for it. It's
hot
like
tub, in
jumping.
suite, in suite.
No, it's like you
No.
jump private plunge.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Maybe it looked like a private plunge pool. I'm not quite sure. Something like that. Anyway, it looks gorgeous. I've always wanted to do that. Sounds so nice. Like it feels so like I just like so badly want to have like an incredibly luxe romantic vacation where I just get to be naked the whole time swimming. Like I love swimming naked. Like nothing feels better. Also, just like having sex all the time, and also like in gorgeous linens. Oh my god, what a dream. But basically,
Gorgeous,
Amy
gorgeous
linens,
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 linens. Okay.
linens. And what if I was like and gorgeous live-in maids?
Yeah,
I
I was
want
like,
yeah, gorgeous
what is
live-in
that? Where
servants.
did
I
that?
really yeah, my
Where did
my
that come
my
from?
dream is to have gorgeous live-in servants.
Mhm. Yeah.
Linens.
Um.
Amy in that pink romper is super cute. When her and Johnny are together, we start to see them. w- Initial thoughts are they feel so young together. Like he feels like he is like a frat boy, like it feels like he has never even gone on a date before. Like, like his conversation style is so interesting. Um Talk about
Yeah.
immature. Yeah. Jeremy jumps
Yeah.
in full clothes.
Yeah. Like, but also, before this, the Jeremy and Laura meet up. She's wearing another green dress. She sees him, she immediately sinks to the ground. They get close together. We find out that he's taller than her. So I'm like, bravo, because this entire time Jeremy is like 5'5" to me, 5'6". Like he can't be any shorter. And but she's wearing heels and he's still taller than her. So I was
Hmm.
really happy for her in that moment. He proposes and he says that he was so excited. He says, take Christmas and times it by 1,000. Like Laura, 100. Laura is home for me. She makes me feel calm. And he says that she's more gorgeous than expected. So this is their initial meeting compared to how it ends for them. It's wild. Um so yeah.
Um, AD and Clay in that hot tub, he gets to see her body yada yada,
Mhm.
and he's cared about it, and he says a bunch of things like he doesn't want to like sexualize his fiance, which is nice, and she's like, I'm gonna look good, and she does. Yeah, Jeremy jumps in full clothes into the pool, and Laura doesn't seem that happy with that. Kenneth and Brittany are like just like brushing their teeth, looking like two roommates.
Oh
He's
yeah,
in
here's
his
the
like
tea. Here's the
he's in
tea.
his like yeah, I would say he's in a white beater, and let me tell you this: all the rooms have fake, rose petals everywhere. They're obviously gonna all have like the green, I'm sorry, the gold metallic clips everywhere, but everything has these rose petals the first night, and I'm like, they can't be real because they would stain the white s- sheets. Anyway, that's all I want to say. Go ahead.
So rumor has it, and who knows if this is real or not. This is just on the Black community side of things, and the Black community side things can be problematic. But rumor has this that Kenneth is actually gay, and full on was like doing this show so that he could kind of prove his heterosexuality. But his cousin said, now who knows if that person was his cousin? Who knows? There are plenty of Black men and men in general, not Black men, but men in general, who really love the Lord and they don't want to be gay. They want to fight against it as if they were in the Mormon church and like, yeah, I'm gay, but like that's my penance and like that's my cross to bear, and I'm not gonna act on those behaviors. I'm going to do
Why
what
did he
God wants
Mormon?
me to do.
I think
Uh,
don't just
but
Christians like conversion therapy? Isn't that just like regular old Christians, not just Mormons, or no?
um uh I saw a documentary where it was about homosexuality in the Mormon church, and one of the people said that Mormon folks acknowledge homosexuality, that it is a real thing, as opposed to other sects of Christianity who think of it as a choice or a lifestyle. Like the Mormon church acknowledges that people are born gay. They just tell them that it's their cross to bear, like that they have to just fight against it.
Mm.
And so that's why I said it like that, because that at least is, is something that I found to be very interesting. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe that documentary was just one side of Mormonism, but it's just kind of this thing where it's like, that. So when a woman gets married to someone who's gay, she knows that is what she's going to have to help him to overcome, because that's his cross to bear in this world. And there's an extra special heaven for them too. Anywho, so
can I ask a question? So if you are, for all intents and purposes, like a gay Mormon woman, what a convenient cross to bear is help like a
no, I'm
man.
talking about men.
No,
I'm not talking about women. So I have no idea what it's like for a woman.
No, I know. But if you're a gay Mormon woman, what a convenient help to have your cross bear is like be with a gay Mormon man and just help him do that, because then you don't really have to like. Anyway, we've come to the end of this episode, believe it or not. As all the couples have been cooped beduped and all the stragglers are straggled away. But you know what? We don't know. For a rainy day, they may come back. Having said that, we're going to continue on our lives, but also continue on our life, and also continue in the Patreon world by having a live tomorrow. So we can do that at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then I will be going off for my dad's birthday dinner. Coming up in my life, I just want to tell you that it's my birthday. But for you and Patreon, I've done a little experiment. Coming up is a holiday. It's called St. Patrick's Day. You don't have to be Irish nor Catholic to
participate.
You do have to drink. Oh, and or like the color green. And so here are 4 green eyeliners. 4 green eyeliners that I have swatched for you in this moment. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Starting over here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal Jewel Liner in sequin green.
Cajole?
Yeah, that's how you say it. Cajole. I can't ever say it.
I don't know, but that's just the way I always think of it. Sorry.
Okay. Next to it is the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajole eyeliner in olive. And then next to it is the dual head green eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury of like this green lights matte and a green lights metallic. And that's off to the side. What do you think?
Why do you have so many green eyeliners? You don't even wear colored eyeliner.
I want to start wearing colored eyeliner, and I feel like green eyeliner will look great on me. And so I'm asking you.
What's the last one?
So there's only 3. There's 4 because one's a woozies. So this one is the green. The last 2 are both on this one.
Oh, okay.
So there seems to be like.
I like the third to last. Yeah. No.
That one?
No.
That one?
That's
that one?
Mm-hmm. From the order you did it, the third to last.
Okay. Do you think that I should just do 1 or 2 colors?
Well, I think you should start off slow.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's gonna be a good color for me?
Yes, that's why I picked it.
I mean green.
Oh, I don't know. Because I've never seen you do anything colorful on your eyes, except for maybe one time you did pink, and then that was the last I ever saw that.
I've done green. I think you don't notice it.
Maybe you haven't done it with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's your nails doing?
Great, but this is not the live. Let us go.
I know.
Oh,
we got talk still to them?
Yeah. Oh, okay, great. We're talking to them. I just didn't know what you just like moved on to a very eating of your fruit. What kind of plum is that? That's the third one you've eaten. So tell me about it.
It's actually it's only the second one. I ate one so far. It's a lemon plum. I went to Mother's and they have like lemon plums, and
I've
they
never
are like
heard of that. Are they spliced with a lemon? Like the when they make the seed, like they did the seed? Oh, okay.
no, it's like a I don't think it's a GMO thing. I hope it's
Oh,
not a
okay.
GMO thing. They're from Chile.
Oh, are they good?
What's your what yes, what how's your prep cooking?
Oh, great. I washed my dishes, and so I forgot that I needed to make something else. But I did some chicken today, and I made some tzatziki sauce, but it was oddly spicy, and I think it's because it said optional with white pepper, and I didn't realize that white pepper is spicy. I thought it was like black pepper, and so
Mommy, it is supposed to be like less spicy than black pepper. That's white pepper should be
then
mild pepper.
something in there was spicy because like I dipped it in, and I was like, what is it? It's like I put cayenne pepper in it or something. So I'm
Huh.
gonna make it again, and I will not put that white pepper in it. So,
Can
but
I
white
be on
pepper makes me sneeze, and so that's what made me go because white pepper and cayenne pepper makes me sneeze like a cartoon. Black pepper to me is not pepper at all. It adds a peppery taste, but it's not pepper. Like it's not spicy.
mm. I love black pepper. I love black pepper, cracked freshly cracked pepper on every salad, every
Yeah, me too.
sandwich,
But white
every
pepper,
pasta,
just
pasta, every bowl, like I also like salt, so it's not like I'm
I
just
mean, yeah. I mean, I've heard
peppery
the
queen.
truth is people are like, "Oh, people who don't put salt on their food." I'm like, "I don't understand. That is what enhances the flavor of everything else. It is like a base. Like, sure, you can
Yes.
put cumin in things, but you have to add salt to that, or else the cumin is just going to be like the effervescence of cumin. You won't actually get to taste it. To me, because I don't know what it tastes like. I can just like smell it in my throat. Now, um, yeah, that white pepper, I think that's what it is that threw me off. So I'm gonna make it again tzatziki sauce. That means I need to buy another cucumber, and I also need to buy a cheese grater because I don't have one. So I need to buy that and then do it again tomorrow without the white pepper and see if it tastes like what I think it's supposed to taste like. Oh, yeah,
What kind of bread do you have right now?
just whole wheat.
Mhm.
So I also have one of those small cheese graters, the ones that are for like pepper
Parmesan.
parmesan and like mincing or like garlic, and so I use that. And I'm like, is it too much garlic? Like, is the garlic bad? Because I did open up a whole garlic bulb, and it was like dust on the inside. I was very pissed, but I was like, I'm not gonna let this garlic go to waste. So I just don't know what made that dish spicy, peppery. It was hot. I was like, I don't want this in my mouth. Tzatziki is cool.
Too
So
darn hot.
that's my story.
It's too darn hot.
But I got to shower. I got to bathe and like do other
Okay,
things before I
we'll
go to
let you
bed.
go now.
Thank you. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Chris is gonna let me go. We'll see you guys tomorrow for
That's
more
what I say to
talk.
her every time I talk on the phone. I'll let you go.
All right. Bye guys. Oh, I already
Bye.
great.
What? 5?